Hola familia, this week we are going to make a vessel. This is a vessel for a very special friend of mine, and I find a log of white oak that I'm gonna turn into a vessel for her. So I hope she's gonna like it, and I hope you are going to like the video. So let's go to do it. Well, we are going to begin mounting our log in between centers, and I'm gonna read out of every single piece of bark that I can by hand before begin turning. So now it's very important to wear the face mask, and I'm gonna use a glove in my left hand. Just I used to do it. It's not needed, but so I'm going to begin with low RPMs, possibly about 400, because the bark is gonna fly around for sure. So as faster you go, as stronger the heat you can have with a piece of bark. So it's nonsense. So we are going to turn our log into a cylinder, and then we can move forward and speed up on the whole process. As you can see, the wood is beautiful. So now I can go a little bit faster, and I'm going to establish about the size I want and where the base and the entrance of the vessel is gonna be. And once I have this, the next step is make a tenon to can hold it. I'm gonna hold it with the chuck. I'm sorry I hit the arm from the camera. I'm gonna fix it in a second. I'm mounting just the chuck. Okay, there you got it. So once we mount the log back on the chuck, it's time to refine the final shape, because it's the first step, of course. I love to establish the entrance and the foot of this vessel on the same size. Closely to the same size. I'm going for a classic shape, because I don't want any rims, anything on it. The wood is beautiful, so it's gonna be the center of the piece. So I'm using just spindle roughing gouges. This one is a D-Way tool, a little bit smaller than the previous one, which is gonna allow me to get into these coves and shape. So it's all about now establish the outside. I'm mounting it here with a chuck, but you can also use a faceplate, a simple faceplate, because as you can see, there is going to be a waist on length of the piece. So a faceplate is perfectly fine. Just have in mind, if you use a faceplate, don't use drywall screws, please, because they can break and cause a problem. Okay, now once we have that, I'm establishing the entrance, that unfortunately I'm going to have to modify then later, because I make that neck too deep. You will see it in a minute, but first we're going to hollow it. And I'm going to establish the depth of the piece with a Forstner bit. This is a 2 inches Forstner bit, and I'm using a tea light candle to make it a little bit smooth. I don't want any stress on the wood inside, or at least as less as possible. So it's all about measurement. Measure the depth you want and go ahead and drill it first, which is going to make your life much more easier to finish the hollowing way, or the hollowing part. And once you have this done, I'm going to mount the steady rest we did in the previous video, and I realized that because of the depth of the neck I did, the wheels are not gonna match, so I have to reshape the entrance of the vessel a little bit smaller, because the wood parts of that arms touch. So now once I do that, I'm going to use two tools. This one is a homemade one with a carbide tip on it, which is 5/8, and is very, very sturdy. Is the one of choice, but also I'm going to work in reverse with a D-way tool. So this is a D-way hollowing tool, which actually makes a fantastic job. So I'm going to be switching in between one and the other. And working in reverse allows you to be a little bit more comfortable in front of the lathe, but you have to be sure that you use the lock screws that comes with your chuck or with your faceplate, to don't have a problem. And if not, the piece can screw from the axis. Okay, then once you finish the hollowing, I use a live center with a piece of wood, a cone, which actually is gonna hold our piece in there. And now it's time to refine the lines on our vessel. And the regular process of finishing it. I'm done. I want a little bit of bark, but not a lot. So and this kind of shape, the base and the entrance of the vessel should be almost equal. So now it's sanding time. For finishing, I'm gonna use Danish oil and wax. That's it. I want a really organic touch, an organic look of the piece. So I'm not gonna get crazy about the finishing. It's gonna be, as you can see, the wood is stunning. So now it's a matter of apply the wax and then polish it, and then I'm gonna read out of this chuck and finish the base of it. And in order to do so, I'm gonna use a PVC coupling attached to a chuck and a piece of leather that is gonna provide the grip. Again, we use live tailstock, and it's all a matter of finished shaping of the base. As you can see, there is a waist there, so perfectly fine if you use a faceplate, because you have all that space left. And always when I turn the base, I love to make it in a concave shape, so the piece just sit on the outside rim of the base. This way it's always stable. So once we read out of this, and a better look now. Okay, there. With the spindle gouge, you can finish this part, then sand it, and then just clean it. I'm gonna use a skew chisel to clean the last knob that is there, and we are good to go. So I hope you like it. This was a very special project because it's for a very special person, so I hope she's gonna like it as well. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I see you on Friday on the second channel, where you have the link down on the description. Bye bye.